It cooked breakfast for billionaires, and by dinner, it was blacklisted from every kitchen in the city. This dish didn't just ruin a career, it sparked a fierce competition between two rivals. One secret recipe book was worth more than his boss's entire fortune, and he knew it. He got fired for following specific serving instructions. He thought he was just a cook until his food brought unimaginable fortune. This isn't a kitchen story. This is an African folktale thriller with knives. I used to be a billionaire's cook. 4 years in his kitchen. 4 years smelling of oil, garlic, and coriander. I thought my job was safe until one tray of samosas ended everything. That day, Charlie's house was full. Music, laughter, cars at the gate, Prados, Mercedes, even a white Range Rover. The air smelled of grilled goat and perfume. I was in the kitchen, warming the last samosas. Yesterday's samosas. I know what you are thinking. Why serve leftovers to ministers? Because my boss told me, we don't waste here. When I asked for money for fresh meat, he said, we can't throw shillings in the dustbin. So I did what I always do. Reheated them, sprinkled coriander, spread some clean napkin. Nobody would know. At least I thought nobody would. I stepped into the living room with the tray. Charlie smiled wide at his guests, teeth shining, gold embroidered kittens glowing under the lights. But when his eyes met the samosas, the smile died. Omari, he called. His voice was calm, sharp. Come here. My hand shook. I went closer. He broke one samosa, sniffed it, then turned to the guest. My cook had served us leftovers. Silence. Earth turned. A man in a blue suit chuckled. A woman with gold earrings raised her brows. It's not what you think. I tried. Quiet, Charlie snapped. Do you see what I deal with? Disrespect. In my own house. For people I value. I told you nothing. His voice rose. You are finished here. Pack your things. Now. Please, Buana. My voice broke. I have worked for you for 4 years. You know me. This is a mistake. Security! His voice thundered. 2 guards entered. Their white shirts pulled tight across their chests. One had a baton. The other had a radio. The radio's frequency went low, catching even the silence in the room. Both of them looked at me like I was a thief, not a cook. My throat closed. My niece's school fees. I begged. Give me another chance, please. Charlie waved his hand like swatting a fly. Out! The guards grabbed my arms. Their grip was rough. They dragged me towards the door. Guests laughed. One said, even my dog wouldn't eat that. Outside, my small bag waited at the gate. Someone had thrown in my shirts, my old recipe books, like trash. The ocean breeze cooled my skin, but I still smelled of oil. I still smelled of food. I still smelled like a fired cook who once served a billionaire. 4 years ended in one night. Home was nothing like the party. No billionaires, no expensive shares, just a small house, but warm, smelling of chapati frying. Mama Sudi was outside, rolling dough on a wooden board. Her blue kanga hugged her waist. Sweat shone on her forehead. The clothes had yellow words printed on it. God knows the secret of the heart. She turned her head when she saw me. Her eyes dropped to the bag in my hand. She didn't ask yet. She is not my mother. She is my older cousin. But after my parents passed, she raised me like her own. Zena ran out with her school bag still on her back. Uncle Omari! She shouted, hugging my legs. My ear smelled of chalk dust from school. I forced a smile. Zena, you will squeeze the breath out of me. She laughed and went back to drawing shapes in the sand with a stick. Only then did Mama Sudi ask, what happened? I sat on the stool near the stove. The chapatis were stacked high, steam rising like little clouds. I stared at them before I spoke. They fired me. My hands froze on the rolling pin. She blinked once, then again. They fired you? She said. Her voice was calm. I nodded. In front of ministers, in front of everyone. She let out a sound that was half sigh, half laugh. You gave that billionaire 4 years of your life, and this is how he ends it? I said nothing. My chest was too heavy. Zena stopped drawing. She came back and sat on my knee. Uncle, will you still buy me orange juice on Fridays? The question was deeper than Charlie's words. I hugged her close. I will always try, Zena, I whispered. Mama Sudi put the rolling pin down. She pulled a small brown tin box from the shelf. She opened it. She pulled the notes together. This is for rent, she said. She moved 2 notes aside. This is for food. She pulled 3 more and then she stopped. There is nothing left. We will manage, I said. She shook her head. No, Omari, we won't manage. Mama, I whispered, teary. You are a good cook, Omari. You don't need him. Start a small business. Sell food at the market. Even women with less skills than you make a living there. She wiped her hands. I will help you, Omari, she said. She glanced at Zena. Zena always come back at 4. Her homework first, then she can help carry plates. I nodded, but inside I had doubts. How does a fired cook compete with billionaires? 3 days later, I make an attempt. Hot viazi via karai. Fried potatoes with spice. I carried them in a steel container. I set up a mini restaurant near the bus stop. The smell attracted people. Chili, hell, salt. People asked for the price. They frowned. They bargained. Too much. Cut it down. Give me more for less. I shook my head. Bad food spells my name. Cheap food spells my pocket. By evening, half the potatoes were still there. The oil had turned cold. The smell faded. A stranger passing by stopped and said, You should use cheap potatoes. You will make huge profits. I smiled. I knew he was wrong. The matatus were loud with noise. Smoke from roasted maize drifted. Hawkers shouted prices. Someone's baby cried. I packed what was left. Containers in my hands. Light coins in my pocket. That night, I sat outside. The street was dark, except for a few bulbs glowing. My recipe book lay on my lap. The worn pages, stained with oil, filled with the taste of memories. I thought of my former master's guests' faces, the laughter, the samosa on the floor. My phone rang. Unknown number. I hear you no longer work for Charlie, a woman's voice said. I sat up. Yes, who is this? I am Salma. Meet me tomorrow. I have work for you. The line went dead. I didn't sleep that night. Who calls like that? No greeting, no explanation. Just, I am Salma. At first, I thought it was a scam, but her voice stayed in my head. Sharp, confident, like someone who already owned me. The morning air smelled of frying mahamri from the neighbor's kiosk. Matatus hung down the street. Mama Sudi was still asleep. I thought of telling her, but she would only ask what I was asking myself. Who is Salma? And what does she want with you? So I browsed the internet, googled Salma Mombasa. Her face was everywhere. Dark skin, sharp cheekbones, pictures with the governor, cotton ribbons, smiling beside ministers. Another photo. Salma in a white straw hat, riding a speedboat, gold earrings flashing in the sun. Hotels, catering, contracts. She was Charlie's rival. I even found a video of them shouting at each other at a trade fair. By mid-morning, I had washed my own good shirt. Light blue, missing button. I pressed it with the old charcoal iron. Mama Sudi was shelling peas outside. Where are you going? You look too neat to be selling viazi, she asked. I am meeting someone. Her eyes narrowed. When will you be back? Before Zina returns from school, I said. Our daughter Zina was 6. I related with her like she was my own child. The matatu ride to town was long. Street hawkers shouted. Bodas swerved. Men in kanzus rushed to Friday prayers. Salma's building rose in the middle of the city. Blue glass, white walls, so clean they hurt the eyes. The guard at the gate checked me from head to toe. looked at my shoes, then the visitor's book, like the two didn't match. I stared back, followed the young usher upstairs. Salma's office wasn't what I expected. No gold pens, no family photos, just a clean desk, a laptop, a cup of steaming coffee that smelled bitter, and a small plant in a tin can. She wore a plain black dress, flat shoes, but her presence filled the room. "Omari," she said, shaking my hand. "Thank you for coming." I nodded. My mouth felt dry. "I called you," she continued, "because I have a problem. 300 staff eat in my hotels every day. The food costs too much. The taste is not good. Guests complain. Staff waste it. My managers give me excuses. I don't want excuses. I want change." I shifted on my seat. "That is not easy." She smiled. "That is why I called you. I heard you don't waste. I heard you can make little food taste like plenty." My chest grew tight. "Who told you about me?" "Word travels." She leaned back. Charlie lost his best cook. I wanted to know why. So I asked. "Now you are here." The room went quiet. I remember the laughter that night, the samosa in his hands, the guard's rough hands on my elbow. "Do you want this job?" she asked. She slid the paper towards me. The pay was smaller than Charlie's. I thought of Mama Sudi, of Zina's school fees, of coins spread on the table like broken teeth. I took a breath. Yes, I want it. Her eyes stayed on me. "You will start tomorrow. But listen, Omari, if you waste my money, I will drop you faster than Charlie did." When I left, my shirt clung to my back with sweat. But inside, my chest felt lighter. I had lost one empire. Maybe I had just found another. Our kitchen was massive. Tables stretched like a classroom. Pots the size of drums. Knives that could cut more than onions. I worked like a man proving himself. Bought vegetables straight from farmers. Saved bones for stock. Taught cooks to measure portions instead of wasting. Salma came often, quiet, watching, taking notes. One afternoon I arrived early. I saw Musa, the youngest cook, holding my prized recipe book. He was taking pictures of the pages with his phone. "Musa," I said, "what are you doing?" He jumped like a rat near a trap. "Nothing, chef. I was just looking." I smiled. "Look well." That night, I rewrote my recipes. Fake spice swaps. Wrong cooking times. I left it where Musa could find it. 2 weeks later, word spread. Charlie's restaurant was failing. His new dishes tasted strange. Guests complained. Costs went up. I didn't need to ask. Musa. One evening as I packed my knives, Salma entered. "Next week," she said. "Foreign investors are coming. If they like us, we win. If not, Charlie wins." Her eyes burned into me. "I want food they will never forget." "What kind of food?" I asked. "Seafood," she replied. "The rest is yours to decide." My hands touched the knife handles. I thought of red snapper in coconut. Octopus stew with chili. This meal would not just be food. It would be. The sea smells different before the sun comes up. Not just salt. Metal. Like a coin held too long in your palm. I reached the pier before the fishermen tied their boats. The sky. Black on one side. Pink on the other. MZ Mwakalinga's boat came in slow. No shouting my name. No smile. He lifted his net, heavy with silver fish. Dropped it on the deck. A sound like wet clothes falling. "MZ," I greeted. Didn't answer. His face wasn't tired from fishing. It was tired from life. His shirt was torn near the pocket. His kofia sat crooked, like he forgot it was there. "What happened?" I asked. He sighed. "My land," he whispered. "The bank says 2 weeks. Then they take it." My chest tightened. MZ had been my supplier for years. If he lost his land, his house, his nets, his boat will all be gone. 2 weeks? I asked. He nodded. The last buyer didn't pay. My cousin promised to help, but now says he can't. Everyone says Paule, sorry, but no one gives money. The sun climbed. His wrinkles looked deeper in the light. I thought of the investor dinner. I could buy cheap frozen fish and make a big profit, or pay MZ full price and risk my budget. I looked at his cash. Shiny scales, clear eyes, fish fresh like they came straight from God's bucket. How much for 6 months? I asked. He blinked. What? I pay now. You give me your lowest price, and this quality stays mine alone. His mouth opened, closed. Then finally his smile returned. Not tired, real. Omari, you will save me? I grinned. Is that a question, MZ? Maybe I was saving him. Or maybe I was just making sure my investors ate the best. The market was awake when I left. Shouts, haggling of prices, chickens under tables, the smell of donuts mixing with wet sacks. That is when it happened. An unfamiliar hand slipped a small crumpled note into my hand. I looked up. A man in a brown pocket walked away. I opened my palm. A strange folded paper, as if hiding something it shouldn't be holding. It's read. Put this in the fish. You will get your old job back and triple pay. I froze. Triple pay. That money could clear Mama Sudi's debts, pay Zina's school fees for 2 years, cover our rent for a year. There will be no more begging and no more bargaining. But if I did it, Salma would lose, Mshale would win, and I would crawl back to the house that threw me out like bad food. That day of the dinner came. Salma's kitchen was fire and smoke, onions frying, hells spitting, charcoal smoke curling like black ribbons. I scrubbed the snapper until it shone like glass, until its skin smoothened. The octopus in coconuts bubbled, tender. The rice steamed with cardamom and bay leaves, perfume only East Africa knows. The cooks moved fast, like soldiers in a war. Knives hitting the boards, water boiling, plates clattering. The note and the poison burned in my pocket. I felt it with every step. Triple pay. My old job. One move could change it all. That money could save me. Could save Mama Sudi. Could save Zina. But it would also make me Mshale's dog again. The same billionaire who fired me like dirt. The same man who laughed at his guests mocked me. I took it out. Held it over the fish. My hands shook. Then I folded it back and threw myself into the food. The dining hall was wide. It glowed with light, gold cutlery, tall windows open to the sea, waves crashing faint outside. The investors looked like kings and queens. Men in expensive suits, women in silk, sparkling beads shone in the light, diamond flashing on their necks. Their clothes worth more than my old kitchen. I stayed near the kitchen door, watching. Salma moved between tables in a cream bui flowing gown with gold embroidery. Waiters laid the plates immaculately like treasure. In front of the gates, one by one, first bite. One investor, a man with grey hair, closed his eyes. He chewed slowly and nodded. A woman in purple licked her fingers after eating the octopus. Another man leaned closer to her plate. Exquisite, he said. I felt my shoulders drop. Hair came back into my lungs. By the time the snapper was served, they were smiling. By dessert, they were laughing with Salma, like they had known Salma forever. They signed the deal while still chewing. My heart beat hard. I hadn't failed her, and in that moment I knew the kitchen that had once destroyed me was now saving me. I was no more a fired cook, nor a poor man begging, but a chef whose food had just turned rivals into winners. Later, Salma called me in. Her office dark except for the sea outside the glass. She stood at the window. You saved this deal, she said. I stayed quiet, waiting. She turned. You could have cooked for anyone, but you chose me. From today, you are not only my cook, Omari. You are my partner. Partner? My eyes widened. But I was only your cook. I expected maybe a raise, not this. Not anymore. Omari, you have become my partner. If you agree, you did me well. A smile glowed. She handed me papers to sign. This is how empires are built, Omari. My hand shook as I reached for the pen. 2 months later, the restaurant was full every night. Mama Sudi glided between tables with the notepad in hand. Her smile blazed brighter than the lanterns. People waved at her. Some called her Mama. Others called her for more tea. She looked happier than I had ever seen her. Even Zina came on weekends. She wore a red dress with white shoes. She skipped between tables, carrying baskets of warm bread. Bread, bread, she shouted, and the guests laughed. When she got tired, she sat by the counter, swinging her legs. She said she wanted to be a chef too. I stood at the kitchen door and watched them. For the first time, I felt like this wasn't just my win. It was our win. Our fortune. On the wall, in gold letters, we wrote, "Don't throw away what can still be turned into profit." This story teaches us that wasting is costly. Treasure hides in what others throw away. What just happened? Tell me what you think in the comments. I am reading every single one. Coming next week, a story that will break your heart, then heal it in the same breath. You won't see it coming. Don't miss the next twist. Hit subscribe and slap that notification button. It owes you answers. Still processing this one? Don't stop.